Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Condo market nightmare in Toronto hasn't even started yet and we have seen all kinds of numbers upside down. I would like to share my screen. I have a couple of examples that I would like to show you between the new builds and a resale and what I'm suggesting to my clients as we speak. So stay tuned and let's get into this. All right guys, we all know that condo market is in trouble and has been for a long time. But I do believe, I firmly, strongly believe that it hasn't even started yet. Okay, as I mentioned before, I will share my screen and I have an example between a new pre-construction build today in downtown Toronto and a condo resale that in the same neighborhood. So we'll run through these numbers and let's try to find the match or what you guys think or what I believe is a better deal today. But before we get into that, I mean, look, pre-construction condominiums in Toronto in the past few years have been selling for $1,300 a foot, $1,400 a foot, $1,700, over $2,000 a foot, even $3,000 for some of the premium product. And yes, I believe that Toronto needs premium product. Yes. Okay. So it's fine. New York has it. Toronto has it. Chicago has it. All the big cities have it. And we definitely should have it. But I'm not worried about the top 1% billionaires, millionaires that they purchase it for whatever reason, you know, slash condo, slash a hotel, slash this, slash that. That's fine. I'm just talking about an average consumer, an average buyer, or an investor that like to kind of spread their portfolio. So when it comes to that, I mean, like all these condos that, you know, were sold a few years ago at that peak price from $1,300 a foot plus, between $1,300 and $2,000, I can say is the range, are about to close in 2025, 6, 7, right? Most of them. So what do you believe is the bank or the creditor going to tell them at their desk when they have to transfer that title and when they have to actually produce some kind of a leverage or a mortgage on the particular property? So the bank will usually say to these buyers at that time, they'll say, listen, your property will not appraise, and therefore you need to acquire more funds in order to have that particular property firm up and close. Maybe some of you already went through this nightmare and it's not easy because we are heading into a huge storm on so many levels. Recession, unemployment, all kinds of stuff. And yes, the bank rates are feathering down. And I believe that is the only direction they can actually go at this point. But now I don't want to get into that, why that can create other problems and whatnot. I want to focus on the price. So the purchase price or price per square foot. And this is what this is all about. So the buyers that have purchased, they're already in trouble. They're going through that. They have been going through that for a long time. Having said that, I also made a video on my channel that did very well. And I do believe that the condo market in Toronto and GTA area can actually sink the entire real estate market. And, you know, in the comments, I had great people commenting and people discussing this particular video that I made. And most of them do agree with me. And why I believe that is because if someone maybe had their own funds or had raw cash for a deposit on a condo of $1 million, which is usually between 20 to 30%, right? By the time you're set and done, HSTs and all of that, closing costs and whatnot, right? So it's about 25 to 30% in most cases. Most of buyers did not have these funds. They took those funds from somewhere else. Most of the time, the best thing was their current ownership of an investment or a house. So you heard this before. They borrowed against their own property once again through a line of credit, HELOC, you name it. They invested in this particular condo hoping to make the money. Well, it went the other way altogether. So that's why I believe that Toronto condo market specifically can actually sink the entire real estate market for everyone else. Also, I would like to add that someone commented, and it was very interesting in that particular video. They said, well, look, aren't condos the entry level into real estate? And I was scratching my head. I'm like, it does make sense, right? Like condos, condominiums are the first time buyer product. That's the product that, you know, gets sold first. Step up buyers, all kind, like, you know, like we transform from a first time buyer into a step up buyer from a condo. I have done this for over a decade. That was the best strategy, right? But now that's not even the case. Think about it for a second. You cannot even buy a condo for a decent price anymore. Now, when we get further into the discussion of that, you know, someone else commented, well, you know, some of these, you know, 1,000 square foot units are selling around GTA and whatnot. Well, that's maybe the only square footage norm that it actually makes sense, because everything below, you know, I would say 700 or 650, it's stretching it unless you're single or a couple or a professional, or it's kind of an investment. And even that investment doesn't make any sense because a lot of these investors are underwater altogether. And I kept stressing at the time, right? And most of the buyers would block me. They'll say, hold on a second, we want to buy because the market is hot and it's a hockey stick, and they have all kinds of theories. And I say, I understand, but if a tenant cannot produce enough security for your investment, like to ride your investment, and you have to pay out of pocket, and you're only banking on one thing, which is the appreciation value, that is extremely risky, right? So it actually happened to be so. It was extremely risky, and most lost their equity. They went under, they went belly up, they're struggling financially and whatnot. But now, let's get into the graphs. I was not paid to do this. I have nothing to do with these projects, nothing to do with my colleagues' MLS. I'm just showing a product right now. So let's get right into it. Let me find my mouse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, reside on Richmond Condos. This is pure downtown, amazing Richmond. Everybody knows the street, beautiful. If you pan down here, I would like to specifically focus on 920 square feet. And there's a reason for it. So if we have 920 square feet of purchase, right? A condo. So that's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, decent size. And let's do some math. So right here, it says price per square foot is $1,592. Now, average price per square foot is in the building is $1,673, and city average price per square foot by data, it's $1,151. Now, if we take this into consideration, okay, and if we take a median, like let's say we shoot right through the middle and we say we can buy this particular condo for $1,500 a foot, right? Per square foot. Okay, perfect. So then I'll take my calculator. All right, so I'll take the calculator and I say 920 square feet plus $1,500 a foot. Hold on a second. $1,500 a foot times 920 square feet is $1,380,000. So $1,380,000. Mind you that in this particular building, a parking spot is valued at $150,000. Okay, very good. So in order to purchase this from this particular builder, you need to pay on average $1.38 million for 920 square feet. Beautiful, plus HST, plus if you want a parking spot, it's $150,000. Great. Now we pan to the MLS. I found a condo we just completed, literally now, it's brand new, and it is listed for $949,000. So $949,000, the building is brand new. It's located in 543 Richmond Residence at Portland. So now when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the floor plan, and I chose 920 square feet because this particular condo is 920 square feet. So I have no associations with my colleague here or the actual listing or anything like that. But I'm just wondering, how does this make any sense whatsoever? This particular condo is in a new building, a year old, maximum 2 years old, beautiful, and it's priced at $949,000 versus me going across the street to a pre-construction new developer and paying $1.4 million. Okay, this condo doesn't have a parking as well, so we're not going to include that. So you see where the problem is. Like, we are $400,000 off altogether. Like, it just doesn't make any sense of even making these moves. I don't want to get into stuff like bankruptcies, giving your deposits, waiting for some of these towers to be completed in the next 5 years, 7 years. And on top of that, you do not know what is going to look like. So for me, it is safer to say, if you want to be in this particular area, you purchase a condo that is the similar caliber that you're looking for nearly 40% off in a literally brand new building. You don't pay HST, you don't pay none of that stuff, you get the keys, and you're happy. Versus buying it at 1.4 million, nearly, plus HST, plus all of that stuff, hoping that they finish this particular project. And at the end of the day, what are you hoping for? So if you buy this at $1.4 million for an equivalent product, plus minus, okay, but it's literally very close, what are you hoping for? For this unit to be $3 million on occupancy, right? Oh, never mind. I didn't even get into occupancy fees, because on some of these units, occupancy could be 3 months, could be 6 months, could be a year, and it is not cheap. It's thousands of dollars before you get the title transferred to you. And then obviously you have to go to the bank. That particular unit has to be appraised at X in order for you to get the full amount and lock in your mortgage. So that was for this video. I hope you got some value out of that. And if you like it, please obviously like, share, and subscribe to my channel so I can deliver on more videos like this. And until next time, stay well, be blessed, and see you soon.